Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the last game of the round in the upset of the round in Freo overcoming Brisbane 93-70, basically on the back of Sarong having the game of the round and arguably the game of, probably one of the games of the year, in which he amassed something like 46 touches, 6 marks and 7 tackles, something like that. It was basically Sarong and no one, they all contributed, but Sarong was the mainstay with obviously 46 touches. I don't know how many clearances he got, but it would have been up there as well. It was a crazy game in itself. Let's just look at the stats quickly here before we get into the video. 46 touches, 6 marks, 7 tackles, 10 clearances, in which he had 21 contested possessions, 22 uncontested possessions, 2 inside 50s, 3 centre clearances. Where is it here? 6 score involvements, 3 intercept possessions. He also used the ball at 80% as well, which is outstanding for the the amount of possessions he got. And in the end, only had 4 turnovers and 3 clangers, and had one of the best rated games of the round. If he'd popped up for a goal, it would have been arguably the best game of the whole. Up there with the best game of the whole season, because someone is going to kick 10 on like a West Coast or whatever, but someone would have to kick like a 12 or 13 on them to probably be better than that Sarong performance. It doesn't really necessarily get the rating that you would expect out of a game like that, for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, before we get into the rest of the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, especially because we have the team review for AFL Fantasy coming up after this, and then you've also got my cash cows and trade targets on the Wednesday and Thursday. You will have my predictions as well as for round 2, as well as the team reveals or team previews for my Supercoach and AFL Fantasy for round 2. But anyway, let's get into the video. So as you see, Sarong 161, absolutely huge, 50, 30, 33, 48. Yep. That was a bad miss by me. Should have just gone Sarong over Bont. But, you can talk about these all preseason. Next year, I'm probably not going to switch as much as I did across preseason. But that is something to learn from. I don't think I'm that far back in the back when you look at it. But Sarong was a big miss. Ryan 125, he was huge. All preseason they said, he's not able to kick, he's not able to do this. He produced 30 odd disposal effort for 800 meters gained, so that was just baloney, to be honest with you. And yeah, he'll be a top 6 defender with all the chaos that is going down back. He'll average 103 or something like that. A 125 game, yes, he'll have his 80s and 70s games, but he seems to be going pretty well. Brayshaw 118, so much talk about him as well, and he turned it up in the second half with a 78 when the game was needing to be won. He, they were ahead at half time, but to sustain the lead, he went and had a freak last 2 quarters of 78, and in the end, got really good reward for his 996 price tag. Then you go down to Aish 113. I don't think this will be something sustainable. We just had a really good third quarter. If you take out that third quarter and turn it into sort of the regular 20s, and that's sort of a 90 performance, but I think he'll be a 90 type of guy, so I don't think there's too much value there. Clark 97, 76 break even. He did really well as well, so another guy that I was looking at, but I didn't want to pull the trigger with him, and he looks all right. Don't know if that's going to be sustainable necessarily, but I could see him being a low 90s guy, which would be massive value. Luke Jackson 96, I was pretty happy about the ending that he had here. He got, you can just see in red time here, 5, 6, 15, 16. He had, 19 points in the space of the last 4 minutes to get up to a decent score. I don't think he's too bad. I think Oscar McInerney is a harder ruck to ruck against, and I don't know who they necessarily have in round 2. If I check here, let's just go through round 2 fixtures. They have got, where are they? I've just missed them. They've got North Melbourne against Sherry. That'll be interesting. But you'll see what I do with my team reveal and for round 2 and stuff. So I think he can actually do really well in that game around the ground against Sherry, and especially in the ruck. I don't think he was involved too much around the ground, to be honest with you, with Jackson. If we go back here, let's just see with Jackson, He had only 18 touches, 4 and 1. He didn't have the tackles. If he gets the tackles up towards his sort of average of last year, I think he'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Jackson. Young, 95, he did pretty good. Just didn't bother in the last quarter, which kind of sucks because that would have been a huge score and would have got his break even moving. But it wasn't the game-breaking score that probably would have happened if you'd had him, but for the teams that probably don't have him, it's wasn't too bad. 586, one that I've sort of toyed about getting in. I don't know necessarily if I want him in, but he definitely got the non-disposal points that we weren't seeing in the practice games, and I think he, if he gets them, he'll be a good buy. I just think that probably Billings is now ahead of him, just because Billings got that break even back down towards 0, more so than Fife. So that's probably the plan there. Tracy, Sharp, did really, really well, and that's what we want out of rookies, to get these rookie price rises, and his break even now is like next to nothing. Switkowski, Pierce, Amos, and literally no one else here really actually matters. Then we move over to Brizzy and Josh Dunkley, 126. This is sort of what we expected out of Dunkley. And yeah, so I expect him to go back towards that sort of 115 sort of, that sort of range in terms of fantasy output, but he does have the bye, so there is no point bringing him in until later. Danaher, 117, Andrews, 109, McCluggage, Zorko could be an interesting one if they do decide to put him down back, as I think that is a decent position for him. You can sort of see, I think they put him down back here, and a 36-pointer there, so that wasn't too bad. Lions, 89, again, also one that they've sort of interchanged with his position, but with Neil coming back, I wouldn't be going for him. McInerney, Ainsworth, Bailey, Rayner, McCarthy, Hipwood, Fletcher, Archie, Wilmot. No one else here really actually matters. Lohman was the sub again, so his sub scores are going to bake his cash gen, so there's no point going there. And there's no real actual players in this Brisbane side that I like the look of. Wilmot hasn't gotten enough cash gen anyway, and Brisbane are coming basically up to their bye, so they are basically in no way, shape or form any use to trade in at this point. So that is the reasoning there. And there's no real cash generators. Archie, I guess, is somewhat of a cash generator, but he could also just pop a 40 and just stop that anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. And you can just see all the red here down the bottom. There's no one here that beat their break even, so there's no one really to look at. And also Neil coming back into the side could really impact the positioning of Robertson, as well as, Rayner was used, I think, somewhat on ball. He's sort of they're trying to mould him almost into an Isaac Heaney, and it's just not working. The sort of Mr. Fix-It go anywhere, he just doesn't work. He's a half forward. It's as simple as that. So Lions could also be impacted, and Zorko, depending on where they play him, could also be one to look at, as well as Dunkley post-buy as an upgrade. But anyway, that pretty much is the video. Another short one because these Freo, they only really have Sharp, Fife. Well, they've actually got quite a lot in Sharp, Fife, Young, Jackson, Clark, and Sarong really to talk about, whereas Brisbane have absolutely no one. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the team review for AFL Fantasy Round 1. Bye, guys.